We are live. Welcome to the FGTN show, fishing gear and tech news. I'm your host, Alex Tim, and tonight we're diving into Garmin's new LiveScope Plus ice fishing system. Yes, that is not clickbait. Garmin is coming out with something new on October 15th, and we're going to talk about it. But I will say I got really excited, and then I got kind of a little bit let down. But we are going to talk about it. Vexilar's FLX-18. That's right. We do know Vexilar is coming out with something new this year. It is also going to be interesting what it does to their lineup. We're going to talk about that tonight. And fresh Rapala Ice Gear. We now know their entire catalog for the 2026 season. And we're going to go through the new items that are in it. We're going to flip through it so that way you know what is going on there. And then highlights from Landcastle. Went to Landcastle this last weekend. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. How did it go? How did it not go? What did we see? Took some pictures, ran into Blaine here at the show there. So that was pretty awesome. Nice to see you there, Blaine. Thanks for hopping on. And then we'll also look at some decent Scheels LiveScope bundle deals that are going on right now. Just a little bit priced over what Black Friday deals were last year. So they got some deals going right now that if you are looking to get into LiveScope, now could be the time to do it. And then we're going to wrap up with some of the ice shows that are coming up and where we're going to go from there. So if you are watching live, tell me down in the chat, what announcement, what topic are you most excited about? And if you're on the replay squad, of course, drop it down in the comments below. Of course, we've got Richard Indy Shorter. Let's go ice season. Enough with this hot weather. Yes, today was brutal here. Where I'm at, we hit, I think, 92 today. Oof. What's up, Charles? Nice to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's rock and roll. First things first, Garmin, brand new, launching on October 15th. That's right. It sure doesn't look that exciting. That's because, to me, it actually isn't. This is a new product that is being sold standalone. It is the LiveScope Plus ice fishing system. This is not a new sonar. This is not. Be very clear on that. This is the LiveScope Plus, the LVS34. That is exactly what this is. The difference, though, is if you look at the model number on it, it will say LVS34-IF. What the -IF stands for is for ice fishing. So they are now going to, if we go back to Live Sonar here, we're on Garmin's website. If you go to Live Sonar, what do we see here? Well, we see the LiveScope Plus system, the XR, the LiveScope system, LiveScope Plus ice fishing system. This is what's new, specifically focused around ice fishing with flexible cold weather transducer cable and all-in-one power cable. So what is different about this one? They are the same price, $17.99, and as we saw, now it says $12.99 because it doesn't have the black box in it. If we include it with the black box, it's the same price at $17.99. So what is the difference between these two systems? Let me tell you. The LiveScope Plus system, the one that we know is already out there on the market today, if we scroll down here and we take a look at what's in the box, you're getting the black box, you're getting the LiveScope Plus LVS34 transducer, and you're getting the perspective mount. You're getting the trolling motor barrel mount, the shaft mount, and a power cable. Okay. These are the things to take into account here. Perspective mode mount, trolling motor barrel mount, shaft mount, and power cable. That's what you're getting. Now, let's roll back here to the new one that is being released. They're saying specifically for the ice fishermen, and here is the reason why. There are a couple of differences here. First, you are going to have, I don't know where it says it in here. Here we go. LVS34-IF ice fishing transducer, flexible cold weather transducer cable, and all-in-one power cable. So let's talk about this cable. The cable on it doesn't look a whole lot different in these pictures because it's really not that much different. The biggest difference is this is a thicker cable on the LVS34-IF, the ice fishing one. It is thicker because it has a little bit better insulation in it, which is going to allow it to have a little bit more flexibility in the cold weather. So that's one thing you're going to notice. It's going to be a little bit thicker, and you're going to, in the cold weather, when it's 40 below outside, you're going to get a little bit better flexibility. A much better thing to definitely be using in ice season. I looked at the ratings for the temperatures of both of the IF version and the standard 34, and they have the same temperature range. So you don't need to worry about not being able to use this on your boat when it's 110 degrees out. You can absolutely still do that in the summer as well. So that is one big thing to call out. It's one of the primary reasons why a person would buy this one over the other. You may also say, because I know we've talked about it here on the stream before, is are they finally going to come out with one that has a shorter cable? Because you don't need 20 feet of LiveScope cable if you're just going to be using it for ice fishing. The answer is no. This is not a shorter cable. It is the same length cable. So what I was hoping they were going to do is come out with a shorter one, because that cuts a pound of weight right there just from the cable. But no, they've got it long, because my thought was get a shorter cable and then you just have an extension that you can plug into it, right? Like make it a 5 foot or 10 foot extension. You can piggyback them however you want if you need it for longer for open water or something like that. But if you're going to make an ice fishing specific one, that's one thing I wish they would have done. So we've got the difference in the cable material, which is going to make it more flexible in the ice. Here's the other thing that's different. If we look at what's in the box, we also have the LVS34 transducer. This is the IF one, like we just talked about. The GLS10, so this is the black box. But we also now have, instead of the other mounts, no shaft mount, no perspective mode mount, and no trolling motor barrel mount, I think was the third one. We now have only the 0 degree pole mount, which is actually important, because if you are using your ice fishing transducer for if you're using the LVS34 for ice fishing, you want the 0 degree pole mount, because if you use any of those other mounts and just mount it on a pole or something, you're going to have your transducer not be perfectly up and down. It will be at an angle. And when it's at that, I don't know if it's a 3 or a 5 degree angle, you will not be able to shoot straight out and straight down the way that you're going to want to. Now, the way that most people get around this, including myself, because obviously this isn't on the market yet, they did have an LVS32 before the 34 came out. They did come out with an IF one, similar situation, is if you buy an aftermarket pole. So if you buy an HD Innovations, a Summit pole, if you buy any of the brands that are out there, you buy a TKI CNC, you buy a Beatdown, like I could go through the list of all of them, right? Almost all of them have a 0 degree adapter at the bottom built into it. So this isn't that big of a deal. The other thing that's different is a lithium ion 4-in-1 power cable. So I think I've got a picture of exactly what that looks like here. And that's this guy. So instead of the long, just single red power cable that you're going to get with the traditional LVS34, you're going to get this cable instead, which is fantastic, because this is what you want to do if you're going to be wiring it up to a shuttle. You have accessory power here. You've got power for the back of your head unit, your screen, and you've got power for the actual black box for LiveScope. And then you've got a barrel connector here, which you could hook up to a charger if you wanted to, or that could be accessory power. And then you've got your pieces here that plug directly, the red and the black, that plug into your battery, like your lithium ion battery. And I believe this has a 10 amp fuse in it, whereas the old one, the power cable that they have, only has a 7.5 amp fuse. Not that it matters, because these are just little blade fuses you can swap out. You put 20 in there if you want. Don't recommend it, but you could. So that is what the difference is. This is a new product from Garmin that is coming out, available to order on October 15th. So hang on tight. This is important because we're starting to see this packaged with screens in bundles that are coming out. So I have no clue. My guess is they're going to announce this on October 15th, which is then when it will be available to order. And hopefully they announce some other things. My gut is telling me that evidently, because they came out with the IF version of the LVS34, they're not coming out with a new sonar this year. I think that's pretty clear at this point. I think they would have announced it at ICAST by now, but hey, maybe halfway through the season they will. I still don't think so, because otherwise I don't know why they would have came out with this one. again, they didn't really do a whole lot here. Change the coding. I'm not going to go through it all again. You guys heard it. So that is from Garmin. Now, next up is Vexilar. So that's right. Vexilar has announced and is launching and is currently technically available, even though I guess Vexilar hasn't announced this, but it's publicly available because you can find it on sites. The FLX18, both in the Gens pack as well as in the, let me pop it up here, as well as in the Pro Pack 2. So the Pro Pack 2 right here, we got $459.95 from Cabela's and Bass Pro. Let's zoom in here, take a quick peek-see at this thing. So we got the FLX18. So we've got the flat screen on it instead of the big, dial head on it here. You've got your LED. It does have, one thing that's really weird is it does have the DD100 on it, which doesn't really make sense because my understanding is it actually will read to you the depth right on the screen. So that's a little bit interesting. You've got your gain, your mode. We're going to talk about features here in just a second, but this is what it is. It looks like the other FLX units, right? Well, let's talk about that. So if you go to Vexilar's website and you click on ice fishing sonar, what you're going to see is a couple of things. Across the top, you're going to see links to the different units that they have available. So let's take a look. FLX38BB, FLX28. FLX30 isn't in here. And remember, the FLX30 they came out with, what, 2-3 years ago? Last year, they put all the FLX30 BBs on sale, like crazy discounted sale, to the point where they blew them out so they could discontinue that product because there was not much of a difference between the 30 and the 38. That is factual. That is exactly what happened. They blew the 30s out so that way they could sell the 38s because they were too close to each other. So here's the FLX38. The step down is the 28. Okay, well, that's cool. Well, what's below the 28? They have an FLX20. They have the FL18, the FLX12, and the FL8 SE. Now, if we scroll down on this page, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit just so it looks a little bit differently here. If we look at the images directly below that on the screen, what looks different? 38, 38, 28, 28, 20. Oh, there's no 20. Huh. 18. Oh, there's no 18. FLX12, FLX12, FL8 SE, FL8 SE. Now, nobody's told me this, but based off of the way that I can deduce what's going on here, is it appears, and we're going to look at the spec side to side because I think that this is true and it actually makes sense. I believe the FLX20 is going to go away, and I believe the FL18 is going to go away. And instead, they're going to have the FLX18, the one that we just looked at that we know is new this year. So they're going to come out with the FLX18 and do, my opinion, this is my opinion, they are going to do the same thing they did last year with the 30 and the 38. So again, last year, they clearanced out all of the 30s at the very beginning of the year, like blew them out. Like the price point on a 38 BB right now, let's just click on it. This 38 is just the head unit only, $569.99. Last year, you could get the 30, which is not much different for this at the beginning of the year last year, for as cheap as $250. Crazy, huh? And I think they even threw in the broadband deucer. It just wasn't on a shuttle. So that's what they did last year. My gut is telling me they're going to do the same thing. They're going to blow the FLX20s out. They're going to blow the FL18s out. And then magically, look at what their lineup is. FLX38, one step down, gets you to the 28. One step down, gets you to the FLX18. And then you go to the 12 and the 8. The 12 and the 8 look like they're going to stick around. They already updated the FLX, the 12 to the FLX12. And I believe there's more than of a jump in between the units. So they're going to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units in the line, in my opinion, down to 5 with some good differences in between. So we could look at something like this. This is kind of where I pulled some of the data from. They've got this comparison page, product comparison page on their website, which has each of them in here. Of course, it doesn't have the new unit in here, but you can see all the data. And I'll link all these pages down below, as I always do once the stream's over, so that way you can go look at it if you want. But instead, I actually put together a chart. So I looked at the data and I put this together. So what is this chart telling us? So we've got the FL18. This is the one that I think is going to go away, because in the middle here is what they're coming out with, the FLX18. And then we've got the FLX20 on the right. And so what the purpose of this is does it make sense why they wouldn't want to keep all three of these? Because we don't know. They haven't told us anything about this yet. They haven't even announced it. We saw in a Wired to Fish article a little bit earlier this year that they said the new FLX18, and that was it. But it didn't give really any detail about it in kind of the partnership deal that they had, that they were working on. So if we look at the display, the original 18 has a 3-color LED, red, orange, green. The new FLX18 has a 3-color LED, but it is a flat face and it has 3 palettes. The FLX20 has a 5-color LED, flat face, 5 palettes. But remember, the 28, that is the step up from this guy, also has 5 color palettes. So that's, I should have really probably put the 28 on here as well, because this 20 is also really similar to that. So that gives us a stepping point from the 18 to the 28. So that makes sense to me. Zoom options. You've got a 6-foot auto zoom only on the FL18. You've got a 6 and a 12 auto zoom on the FLX18, and you've got a 6 and a 12 auto zoom. Same feature. You don't need 2 units that have the same feature. Low power mode, they all have it. Night mode, you have it on both the FLX18 and the 20. You don't need both of these. Interference rejection, the FL18, you had 10 settings. So of course, with the FLX18, you've upgraded, you now have 20. Well, the FLX20 is 20. You don't need both of them to be the same. Depth ranges, you went from a 20 low power to a 20, 40, 60, 80, 120 to now having an upgraded capability where you can go with more depth ranges up to 300 feet. You can see what those ranges are here on the screen. Well, guess what? The FLX20 that already exists can also go to 300 feet and has many different areas in between it. It does have auto ranging, which is nice. There is no auto ranging on the FLX18, but guess what? The FLX28 has the auto ranging. In terms of target ID resolution, you have less than a ½ inch on the 18. The upgraded 18, which is the FLX18, is less than a ¼ of an inch, which is exactly the same as the FLX20. The rest doesn't really matter too much, but you have power output here, 400 watt peak on the old FL18. The new one is capable of much more power output at 1000 watt peak, the same as the FLX20. And so you've got current draw, digital depth. And of course, we can see digital depth built in to the FLX18 and the FLX20. So that's the one thing that I looked at and I was like, okay, so they've got digital depth built in. You don't need what you do on the FL18, that DD100 add-on, even though in that one picture that we looked at, they had the DD100 on the shuttle. Here we go. I'll show it again. On Cabela's, they've got the DD100 on the shuttle, even though this will give you the range. So now they just wasted money. They could have made this thing $10 cheaper, but they didn't. So it is what it is. And then we've got a spec sheet here as well, in case you wanted to look at it. I'll have this again, all linked down below. But this is what we're talking about. New FLX18. So kind of going back to this chart right here, which I think is one of the more telling ones. I anticipate when they do decide to announce it, they're going to leave all of these are going to stay. They're going to introduce the FLX18. They're going to delete the 20 up here, the 18 up here, and they're going to replace those with the FLX18. 38, 28, 18, then the 12 and the 8. that is what we know about Vexilar at this point in time. As I find out more information, as there's no official release on it, we will, of course, be sure to cover it here on the FGTN show. And I will always wait, if I can, in most cases, until the official release happens to do any other standalone videos on it. I'm going to let you know everything as it comes up here on the FGTN show, which is the fun thing about watching the show, is you guys get the latest and greatest as soon as I'm hearing about it. Of course, once a week on Tuesdays is when these videos go up, these lives go up, but I will do a kind of a Vexilar full lineup. Maybe I'll do a full Markham lineup this year as well. We haven't heard anything about Markham yet. Let's just put it that way. All right, next up, there is more. Rapala. Rapala VMC Suffix 13 Fishing Strike Master Mora Ice. The 2025-2026 Ice Collection has been announced, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to figure out how to do this. I don't know how this is going to work. Share this tab. No, it's not too bad. It's a little wide, but it'll work. Okay. So they've got their catalog. It's 78 pages long. Don't worry. This is not going to take us too long to get through. What have you got? Are you guys excited about the Garmin or the Vexilar so far? Let me know. Let's answer a couple questions here real quick. Richard saying, I'm looking forward to someone buying my Eskimo 650 XD so I can get the new hot. Yes, the 650 XDP. Of course, they would bring out all the cool upgrades the year after I buy my 650. Dude, I feel the exact same way every time, every year. I'm like buying some of this stuff, and then it's like, oh, I don't even need that, and I used it once. I hear you, man. Jody is saying, so ready for the hard deck. Hello from Northern Utah. Website should have a classified section. Dude, it totally should. That would be really nice. What's up, Doug Larson, member of the channel? Nice to see you supporting the channel. Really appreciate that, man. Greetings from Colorado. Is it ice season already? Count me in. I know. Like, I'm just ready. Just pulled an older Helix 5 off my boat. I'm going to turn it into an ice rig. Smart idea. All right. Let's keep going here through Rapala stuff. So we got their site up here. We're going to focus primarily on the things that are new. So this is the new auger. We've talked about this a couple of times. I've got a video on the channel already about it. And this is the Maven 40 volt Strike Master auger. So this will, in my opinion, be their go-to auger in the future. We're going to flip through this deck and we're going to see if that is true. Here's some pictures, all the specs. I actually already posted this exact image about 2 months ago on the channel, but if you need to see it, I will have it linked down below. This is the new auger. Again, 40 volt. It comes with 2 batteries, a 5 amp hour and a 4 amp hour in the box that you're going to get with it. And you can buy an 8-inch or a 10-inch, which is, it looks like a pretty dang well-rounded auger. Then they've also got, these are not new, but they came out with the red, white, and blue version of this auger, the Light Flight last year, and then the black one that they had as well. So you've got 6-inch and 8-inch versions of the Light Flight. Of course, we've got the Maven here, and then we've got the laser and the Mora hand augers, and we've got the Light Flights here. And then you've got lithium 40 volt power adapter. This is not new. All of these things, the chargers, the batteries, all of that has already existed. So you may ask yourself, is that it for the augers? What's missing? We don't have the old Strike Master 40 volt in here, and we do not have the 24 volt. So what this is telling me is they are discontinuing, based off of what we're seeing not in here, they must be discontinuing those 2 augers and replacing it with just only having the Maven 40 volt, which makes a ton of sense because it's not that much heavier than the 24 volt. And at the performance that it's claimed to have, because I've never used it yet, but I will this year for sure. We'll do videos on it. It looks like, why would you sell those other ones? This is the one that you sell in the future. So it looks like they've consolidated down, and it looked like a pretty good auger. I got my hands on it in a conference hall earlier this year. All right. So what do we got new here? So magnetic snap cover blade guards are new. hands-free push in to attach, use the foot pads when detaching, strong connecting magnets. So these are new because of the Maven. They've had magnetic snap caps before, but what we're seeing here is an 8-inch and a 10-inch version, which is new specifically for the Maven auger. We've also got Maven blades that we've got the new flag next to. Of course, they're going to need blades for their auger, so that's in there. And then they do have a couple accessories. Sorry for all the zooming in and out. I'm just trying to make it big for you guys and gals. Hex steel adapter. So they do have, compatible with Maven Powerhead, hexagonal output shaft, fits the StrikeMaster Power steel auger drill unit, structural steel, hexed around 22 millimeter diameter. So this is going to allow you to hook this up to your Maven Powerhead to a steel auger drill unit if you wanted to. That's what this guy's for. And then you've got the hex auger extension, which is pretty straightforward. It is a 12-inch extension for your Maven auger. Everything else on here is not new. We've got the StrikeMaster Ice Augers Pro Suit. This is not new. This is the same stuff that they had. We're just focusing on new stuff here. Otherwise, we'll be here all night looking through this catalog. They do have some new branded hoodies this year. So we can kind of see the black and the gray that they're calling the black charcoal, the khaki moss, and the black. I'm a sucker for a nice hoodie. We'll see if we get these on a pretty dang good deal. Looks like the black one actually already existed. So it's these two new colors here. So we've got those available. Some inline reels, of course, they still have here. And we've got one new reel down here. This is called the Bait Striker. 7 stainless steel ball bearings plus IAR, carbon body and rotor, folding aluminum handle with rubber knob. That's awesome. We love to see the folding aluminum handle. The folding handle in general is incredible, and not everybody has that. And then they've got the competition slide drag system, aluminum spool. And here is the model that they have. It is a 1,000 size reel. And it is a bait feeder reel. So this is great for like if you have a dead stick, if you're using it for a tip up, essentially you can leave your bail closed on it. You flip this latch up on the back. And then when a fish pulls, there's basically no drag. You can set the drag with this back knob on the back. If you haven't used one of these, this is essentially a second drag system. If this is up, it's free spooling out to whatever tension you set back here. So you can basically let it just go, but it's not going to cause your whole spool to come off. And you can just start reel to unset that bait spooler and then reel in, which is pretty great. And of course, you have your traditional drag system up front with your bail that you can either open or close. So this is nice. I wonder what the price point will be on it, but that looks pretty nice. They've got another new reel called the Wicked, which looks like a white version here, and it is not a bait feeder. It does have both a regular stem and a long stem version of it, as we can see here. 4 ball bearings, so this is a step down from the other one. It looks like composite frame and rotor. It does have the folding handle, which is nice, the slide drag system, and ported aluminum spool. Did the other one have 4 ball bearings, or did it have more? For some reason, no, 7. Yeah. So a difference there for sure. We've got some rods in here. They've got the new Wicked rods this year. We'll take a peek, see at them. So we've got the white here. It looks like some EVA on the handle, carbon fiber on the bottom part of the blank. I can't tell what this is made out of. It looks like Fuji guides potentially on it. Let's take a look here. We've got solid carbon and fiberglass. So just fiberglass with the carbon at the bottom. High vis tip, which we saw with the green on it. Evolve advanced guides. Oh, they're Evolve. They're not Fuji. Feather light. Custom Evolve finesse with soft touch finish. Real seat handle in the premium Japanese EVA that we had called out. And so here's the different lengths here. These are ultra lights, lights, mediums, and they have a medium heavy. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 32 inches, and we can kind of see exactly what those look like. So that is one of the new rods this year. It looks sick. Hopefully it's not too expensive, and we'll probably have plenty of people picking that up. Another one, here's a combo. So this is a rod and inline reel combo that we can see here. Real short little handle on it there, but it does have that kind of split grip there. 4 ball bearings plus IAR, composite frame, EVA knobs, slide drag system, a dead stick spool clicker, drop speed control. So is this like a dead stick? It's kind of what it's looking like. Stainless steel guides with polished inserts, custom evolved carbon reel seat, and the premium EVA split grip. 4+1, 2.7-to-1 ratio, left and right hand retrieve, and they've got it in 27 and 32-inch varieties. I'm not an in-reel guy, but if you're an in-reel guy or gal, this could be something to take a look at this year. They've also got, we talked about the Bait Striker reel. Well, they've got it in a combo. So we've got the rod features here, fiberglass, high quick viz. So this looks just like the other rod that we were talking about. Was that the Wicked rod maybe? And they've got this in 30 and 36-inch lengths. Medium light and medium moderate actions. And then we've got the new Clout. So it looks like they got a lot of reels and rods coming out this year. So the Clout that we can see here, this is not a split grip. This is a single grip, but it's got a short little butt of a handle there. We've got the Clout reel on it. And then we've got orange high vis tip. Recoil. That's a recoil guide, it looks like. Oh no, it's just deceiving in how the picture is. That's not a recoil guide. I was like, this is expensive. Let's take a look here. So for the reel, we've got a 6-ball bearings plus IAR in this puppy right here. Does it have a folding handle? It does not have a bait feeder. It does have a reverse on it that we can see here. Composite frame and rotor aluminum handle with cork knob. No, so this is going to be on the cheaper end of their reel options. In terms of rod features, carbon and fiberglass, high vis tip, evolve advanced feather-like guides, same guides as we've seen, reel seat, cork grip. And we got these in 27, 28, 30, 32, ultralight all the way up to a medium heavy in length, which is pretty cool. All right, and then we've got a Wicked combo, which is the Wicked reel with the Wicked rod. 4 ball bearings. We already talked through the reel and the rod on this, but look at these lengths. Down to a 24-inch length. That's crazy. That's short. Ultra light. And then we go all the way up to a 32 medium heavy. So if you're interested, this could be an interesting combo to pick up. Probably one of the more attractive ones that I've seen here. Oh my goodness, they've got more. 13 Fishing, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know, Rapala bought 13 Fishing, was that a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? But that's what we got here. That's what we're playing with. So we got the Capture Panfish and a Capture Walleye. My guess here is our rods are going to be a little bit different, but the reels are going to be the same. Let's take a look. 2 ball bearings plus IAR, composite frame, composite handle, and rubber knob. These are on the lower end. That is for dang sure. So I expect these to be at a very attractive price point. Like I would expect these combos to come in at like $30, $40 maybe. Solid fiberglass blank. There is no carbon on it. Titanium spring bobber on the panfish one. And then we've got a high vis tip on the walleye, stainless steel guides, polished inserts, custom evolved skeleton reel seat, and then a cork handle. So I expect these to be a little bit more price budget conscious, if you will. And wait, we're not done. There's more. This one looks cool. The Ambition. This isn't new this year, but like, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. The new Force they've got. So this is this is another combo. They're all in on combos. This has got to be even cheaper. 1 ball bearing, composite frame, shiminy crickets. It does have reverse on it, which is pretty great. A high vis tip, fiberglass, cork handle. Look at this one. The heat wave is not new. All right, let's keep going. We've got their plastics, 13 Fishing plastics. A lot of people love these. I like them. They do a really nice job with plastics. Yes, but nothing there is new. We've got more. Nothing there is new. We've got more. Nothing here is new. Here is a new one, the Nano Wrap. I think we had talked about this earlier this year, maybe a couple of months ago. But if you don't remember, this is one of their new hard baits for this year. It is the Nano Wrap. The tiniest Rapala lure yet, with its micro profile and finesse rocking design, the new Nano Wrap excels at vertical jigging, triggering more strikes, a weight forward rattling design to create a subtle vibration on the rise and side to side action on the fall. So if you are one of those people that like the rip and wrap when you're ice fishing, bang that thing, get some noise going down there, call those fish in. This could be perfect. I will be picking a bunch of these up, probably one of every color. And then I'll probably find that I only use one or two of the different colors, but they do have some chromes, chrome blue, chrome, and then they've got a bunch of glows. I'm a big glow fan for ice fishing. Glow hot perch looks good. The head spin, you know, if it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use, if you know what I mean. We got the pink dreams. We don't have a clown or a, we don't have a clown or what's it called? Wonder Bread, which is interesting. They wouldn't have something like that. Maybe that'll be a special edition coming out. For the jigging shadow wrap, this is not new, but the new size and colors is happening this year. So they got the BLS Bad lipstick for a new color. They've got the Juicy Lucy new color, the Leprechaun, and the Moldy Fruit as new colors. And they now have them in size 7, which is going to be a smaller size rather than the size 9. So a little bit easier for, you know, if you're going after like walleye or something. I prefer like a size 7 over a 9 for sure. I'd prefer if they had a size 6, but I don't know if they do. Obviously, they don't in that product. Then we've got Rip and Blade and Jig and Wrap Magnum, which are not new. The Jig and Wrap, they've just got some new colors in here. In the new colors, we'll call out same Juicy Lucy, Pure Chrome, Purple Shades, and Wonder Tiger. That Wonder Tiger looks good. That Wonder Tiger looks real good. But I'm not much of a Jig and Wrap kind of guy, really at all. They've got the slab wraps, which aren't new. Here's the Rip and Wrap. The RPR06, the size 6 is like the money one of these, is in my opinion. You can target bigger panfish, crappies, walleye, pike, you name it. You can hit them on a number 6 of these guys. Then they've got the ultralight Rip and Wrap. Again, nothing new on either of those, so we're not going to spend time there. They've got their entire Smart Hub system, which all of this has been out on the market. None of it's new, but they do a really nice job. They have one of the better systems, in my opinion. I really like the way that Rapala does it. I really like the way that they have their rod holder set up. I don't know, do they have it somewhere in here? These guys right here, the Smart Hub rod storage, these right here take up one space on these horizontal racks that you'll see down here. This rod holder clips onto one of these. So you can have, I think it's 6 of these across this small little bar, which is more ice fishing rods in a line than any of the competition has. The next best, I think, is 4. And so I really like this. Maybe I might even throw one of these on the side of my Otter box on the back of my ATV this year. So that way I can always have 6 rods just kind of chilling there if I want to as I'm zooming around. But none of that is new. None of this is new either. But of course, they've got these accessories. They've got tackle trays, tackle storage. They've got Suffix line, a bunch of it. And then we get down to 2 more new baits from them. The Tungsten Bug Bite Jig. This is a small larva-like realism for strike-inducing attraction. Lead-free tungsten construction provides the best sensitivity and return on traditional fish finders and forward-facing sonar. It's just because of the density of the material. Premium VMC treble hook increases hook-up percentages, available in polished metal or ultra-glow pigments that last up to 15 minutes. There are multiple, I'm trying to remember the name of the company that makes these, but these are very, very incredibly similar to another company that charges an arm and a leg for these. So I will be interested to see what the price point is on these. But I've got a bunch, obviously not from Rapala, but I'm interested to see how these perform in comparison. What I like about it is like these glow magates in the gold flash, they look like waxworms in the water. And what's great is you get these small little treble hooks on it. Like you'll be catching bluegill all freaking day, and you don't even need bait on it, which is pretty great. The next one that they have is the tungsten torpedo spoon. We can kind of see exactly what that looks like here. Tungsten construction provides the best return on electronics, ultra fast sinking to target fish before they pass by. Small attractor blade adds flash and vibration. VMC ultra glow colors last up to 15 minutes. And they do have 3D holographic eyes, polished metal finishes, and the eyes are on both sides. So you can see what they've got available here. Those would be like a good, like kind of like dropper type spoon. A bunch of other things that are not new, more things that aren't new. They got their jigs in here. They've moved over to tungsten. Everybody's kind of moving over to tungsten right now, which is great. And then they've got new black stainless fast snaps. Fast snaps are awesome, especially for anything other than like small panfish. If you've got tiny little lures and you got 4-pound line, I have a tendency not to go with these because it definitely looks like a hunk of metal. But if you've got fish, like if you have a split shot on and the fish are coming and getting that, putting one of these on actually helps you because then you can get the fish to come. They see this metal that they're attracted to and they try to hit this, which is closer to your hook. At least so I found. So they have this in size 6, 7, and 8. In that, ladies and gentlemen, is Rapala Ice. That's what they got. Now let's keep on moving on, shall we? Land Castle happened this last weekend, September 12th through the 13th. They were at the McLeod County Fairgrounds in Hutchinson. This was my very first time going to Land Castle. I will tell you that I thought it was a good experience. I did not go into this area of it. I did not watch any of the shows, but this was actually inside. And they had it set up pretty dang well. So they had kind of like a loop on the fairgrounds where they had all of the vendors set up. It was small. There was no Eskimo, clam, otter, amped, HD Innovation, Summit Fish, like none of the big brands that you would expect to be there. There was no Rapala, no Strike Master. All of the gear that we talk about for new gear, none of them were there. 0 of them. And I think that would be the game changer if you could get a couple of them to come. But I think part of the problem and why they're not there is, I mean, dude, it's the middle of August. A lot of these brands don't yet have their inventory in yet, and or are assembling some of the inventory to be able to get them shipped out to their retail partners. I mean, Otter hasn't even announced what they have new yet this year, right? As an example. So what did we see while we were there? First thing, we had Sven's sleeve there. And one of the things that they were showing off was their pole adapter kit. And so that's the thing that if you have a live imaging system, that you can actually put it right through your hole cover. Why this is important is because if you use a tripod in a permanent shack or something like that, you now have a hole for things to fall down. If you can have your cover on, that is great. What's unique about this is it's just this piece right here that you slide on your pole. You have a little bit bigger hole in the middle here, and then you can put your pole right through the lid. What is unique and interesting about it is I've seen nobody else do this, is it goes through that hole, and then there is a piece that goes onto the bottom and tightens down to your hole cover here. So you put it in your hole with the hole cover, and then you actually spin the hole cover. Why is this important? Why do you care about that versus just the pole moving? Here's the reason why. You're going to take your LiveScope cord that's coming up your pole, and you're going to put it through this notch right here, and then it's going to go to the top. So when you go to spin it and turn it, your cord isn't like hanging up and twisting around the pole. If you've ever had that happen, all of it's spinning. So your cord is spinning because this notch is spinning with it because it's clamped down to it. So pretty cool. I'm thinking about maybe picking one up this year, but I'm going to be doing a lot of portable fishing, so I may not. And so I was like, well, do you have anything for portable? And of course they're like, of course we do. So they've got their portable hub sleeve cover as well that they had there, where you could do it off to the side or in the middle. This is intended to go directly on the ice if you want to. So they were there. Here's a new product that was new to me. It's called the Nippy Thermal. And you're like, what are we getting into here? What are we talking about? It is a Nippy Thermal Nippy ring. So it is this ring. It is intended for people that have permanent shelters and they want to keep that draft out. And here's how it works. You basically squeeze that thing down and you shove it down in your hole. And essentially what you're going to come up with is this around your hole. So you auger your hole, you push all the slush away, you stick this down in there, and then you drop your house the rest of the way on top of it, and you've got a nice airtight seal. This is foam in there. It's water resistant. I think it is a unique idea. They're not cheap though. They're $100 a piece. So if it's a solution for you, that's fantastic. I thought it was unique, so I figured I'd call it out. Here's another one. I know we've got a lot of DIYers here in the audience. Check this out. So I went by the Shack fish houses that were there at the show. And the guy, Dave, evidently, based off of what we're seeing here on this this picture, his phone number, I think, is 7123851 something 9, maybe. I'll have to take a look at it here. But he will build you a skid frame. List price 5x7, $1,150, 6x6, $1,000. You can see the prices here, pretty reasonable. Check these things out. That is a full skid frame, and it has Hyfax on the bottom of it. It has a removable tongue on it that you can tow with. You can put it on the front, or you can put it on the back. When you order it, you tell him the spacing that you want. This one's obviously built so you can have a bigger spear hole up here in the front. But if you wanted your holes in a different pattern, you can just tell him and he's going to make it for you and space those out whichever way that you want. If you are looking to build your own skid house, this thing is super light. You could put this on an ATV trailer. You could put this thing on a snowmobile trailer. If you've got a machine that you're pulling anyways, this thing you could probably even put in the back of your truck, right? Because this is super lightweight. If you are interested and would like to build your own, I would highly recommend starting with something like this that's taken care of for you, and it's all aluminum. It's already all put together. And at these prices, it actually isn't terrible. Get a 6x6 one of these frames with everything that you see here pulled together for $1,000. That's actually not bad. Throw some marine grade plywood on there. Throw your walls up and let your imagination go wild. I thought this was really cool. So if you're in the market and want to go pick one up, like I don't want to build one. I don't need one because I want to run portables, but like I kind of want to build one. You know what I mean? Like it'd be kind of a fun little project. So maybe I'll make a sleeper in one of these this year. Anyways, here's a side view of those puppies. Then we swung by the Bobber Buddy. They were there, which was really nice to see. So this is some of the new gear we talked about recently. So they've got their new hole covers for your pole to be able to go down there. Excuse my yawning. It's late. I get up at 3 a.m. nowadays. So like this is late. It's 11:15 here. Drink a little sparkling water to keep me hydrated here. So they've got this one that goes over the hole, and then they've got the one next to it, which I don't know. I do have another image here. So this is where you've got your pole going directly down in, and then this falls into your hole cover there. So these are great, again, for the wheelhouse people that want to be using their live imaging. And they've got the handles here, which are great because they've got the little arrow on it, which is super nice as well. He's got a ton of solutions. I'll do a video just specifically on all of the stuff that he's got, but he's got solutions for your boat. He's got a new tripod that actually has bearings in it. He's got track mounts for live imaging, and he's got it set up to be geared to work with pretty much anything that you've got out there. He's got a new attachment that you could actually just screw directly into the side of your shuttle, and then this actually pops in and out. You just pull it up, push it down, and you can now have a hole hopping unit by lifting your whole unit up and have your pole hanging off of the side of it. Pretty dang cool. He's got, I mean, he had a ton of things here. Let me show this picture. He had a solution where it's inside of your whole sleeve. This attachment points in there. So it's actually all inside directly in the hole. And it's actually on a swivel point that you can see here. So you can push it off to the side if you want to be able to fish in the hole or not. You've, of course, got the tripod with his bearings in it, which is pretty great. Otherwise, you've got, if you want to mount just permanently to the floor, you can actually put this base on the floor, and then you've got an arm that can go over, and then it literally just swivels out of the way if you want to. So like if you're in a skid house or a permanent shack of some sort, you could also do that as well. And he's even got a bubble level in it to make sure that you're level, which is pretty cool. Tons of different options. Norfin was at the Landcastle show this year, and the one new thing that they had, which they weren't selling because they also had no inventory, I wanted to buy quite a few things there, and the people that I wanted to buy from didn't have any inventory. They're like, we're showing you what we got. Come to the Ramsey show, the Northwest Metro show here in about a month, and you can pick up stuff. So this is what their new thing is. They're a shorter boot. It is lightweight. It does still have the cleats on the bottom, and these fold up. So that way, if you are on something you don't want your cleats to be digging into, you can go ahead and do that as well. So that way you've got kind of the not marring up or destroying your floor, if you will, or if you're going to be walking on pavement, you don't destroy your spikes that you've got, but they essentially cut it down and then put like a nice top on it. The idea here is a quick slide in, slide out. So like for people that have a permanent shack or they're ice camping a lot and they just want to be able to quickly slide on and off without the tall boot, that's what they came out with this year. That is the new thing from Norfin for this year. Here's a little bit better picture of what they have announced. I also swung by Macula Tackle, and I bought some stuff from them. So what's new this year from them? If you didn't know, Macula Tackle, one of the biggest things that they have going for them that they've got patented is this larger eye loop on there, which makes it way easier for those people that are getting older or have bad eyesight to throw your line through there and tie it. But it also allows you to move your knot on your jig to get a more horizontal, vertical, 45-degree presentation. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. The blue color is what's new this year, the blue with the glow on the back, but that's not all. They also now have tungsten. So they've got a bunch of tungsten options here in the 4mm size. And so I picked up one of each of these, which I was really excited about. And again, I paid full price. I paid $4 a piece for these as well. And my favorite thing that they've got this year, and this picture does not do it justice, and I don't have them in here with me. Otherwise, I would grab them and show it to you. But these are the switchback, the 332-ounce switchback. So the switchback means that you can have it go horizontal or vertical presentation or anywhere in between. It's got the glow back. It's got gold on it. Gold is gold, if you will, in ice fishing, if you know what I mean. And then this is the glow. It's like the glow chartreuse, the glow green, which glows the brightest for the longest on the back of it. And then you've got red speckles on it to kind of have that like little, the blood type look to it. So if you've got fish hitting on red or pink, if you got fish hitting on gold, if you got fish hitting on glow, you got fish hopefully hitting on this. So I picked up a few packages of these guys. These are also new for them this year. All right. Scheels. Let's talk about some deals here. So there's two Garmin deals that I want to outline to you. That is the 93. This is the EchoMap 93 SV. and it has the LVS34, the new IF transducer. Now, I'll be clear, the LVS34 IF transducer has been out for a while. It's not new by itself in terms of like new to the world. It is new to Garmin to be able to sell it standalone by itself this year. It's been only in bundles previously, like their LVS34 ice fishing bundle that came in like their Garmin case and all of that. So this is not considered like a net new product. This bundle is new though, as you can see here. And at this price point, it's currently $600 off, $21.99. Last year for Black Friday, we were looking at about $150 to $200 less than this. So this isn't a bad price for a non-Black Friday deal. I'll have a link to this down below if you want to check it out as soon as the stream is over. Of course, hitting the links down below, I appreciate. They are usually affiliate links, but sometimes they're not. It's just whatever I can get you guys the best price on is what I drop down there. And then the other one from Scheels is the bigger guy. This is the Ultra 2 106 SV. So this is an inch bigger screen going from a 9 to a 10, which that is a massive difference. You also have a much higher resolution, a faster processor in it, all at the price of $27.99. This is a really dang good deal. They've got the same bundle right now with the regular LVS34 on sale for $29.99. So it is $200 cheaper if you get the LVS34 IF. Again, the big difference here is the 34 IF will not come with your trolling motor barrel mount. It will not come with your perspective mode mount, and it will not come with, there's one other mount that it doesn't come with, but you're going to get basically the things that you're going to want for ice fishing. You get the 0 degree mount, which is the most important. And you also get the 4-in-1 power cable, which is really important as well. So these are two really good deals right now. And I expect them to drop probably a little bit for Black Friday, probably right in line with what we had last year. But with like how things are going up in price, these are actually fairly decent prices to be competitive. All right. And then in terms of next shows up, before we kind of go through the chat here and see if anybody has any questions, the next show, so Landcastle Summer Extravaganza is over, as that was just this last weekend. The next event that we've got on the calendar here is the North Metro Ice Show, which is October 25th to the 26th, which is about 5 weeks away, I believe. And that also includes the Modified Portable Ice House Show. So that's where people deck out their flip overs and their hub houses. I walk around with the camera, and every year I'm putting out a video of check out how people are modding their stuff. It's one of the videos that people absolutely love every year. So I will be filming that. And then, of course, stocking up on a bunch of stuff at the ice show. And I'll be hopefully doing some filming there as well. That is what we got for the FGTN show. So now let's go back through the chat. If you got any questions, we'll hit a few of these. It's getting pretty late here. And know that you can always hit the comments when the video is over, and I will reply to comments as well. All right, what do we got? Diesel heater is a game changer. I'll be selling my shack so I can get those vents. Yeah, on the Eskimo, the XDP, for sure. What's your thought on Scheels LiveScope deals? Wait for Black Friday. Hey, look at that. I just covered them. Just depends. If you want to wait until Black Friday, I fully expect you're going to get them cheaper than these deals that we just looked at here. But if you are not wanting to wait for Black Friday, you absolutely aren't going to be doing any harm to yourself. You're going to pay maybe $100, $200 more would be my guess if you do get these bundles now. So totally up to you if you've got a use for it now or want to start building stuff out now. These are not bad deals. These are the probably two of the only deals I would buy right now, though. And I'll have them again linked down below. Doug says he bought an FLX-28 already, but the FLX-18 is sweet. Yeah, I mean, dude, if you have the 28, don't buy the 18 because the 28 is better all around. But yeah, I know back when I ran Vexilars, I had the 28s, as well, and it was like the year they came out. I had 2 FLX-28s, and then I sold both of them and got Panoptics. This was before LiveScope, the Panoptics ice fishing bundle with the PS22 transducer, and that was when I started into live imaging. However many years ago, 5 years ago, 2018, 7 years ago. Whoo! Not every year reel folds. Crazy. All of mine do. Yeah, I mean, you even saw, yeah, Charles, I know, it's crazy. So what I've been told is that there are certain manufacturers in China that have the ability to build the folding reels. And if you are not able to get your reels sourced through those factories, that you don't have folding reels. The exception is Daiwa is an exception because Daiwa builds its own products, and so they can do it as well. And so you've got companies that can't do it simply because they're not made in the right factory and they don't have the right people working on it, which I think Akuma is one of them. Do Akuma reels not fold at all? I want to say Akumas don't. Maybe it's not Akuma. I'm blanking on the name of it, but yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, we saw tonight in the Rapala stuff, some of them don't fold. It's crazy. For open water, it's not really that big of a deal, right? It's primarily for ice fishing. Ice fishing, it's a pretty dang good deal, a big deal to be able to fold that up to put it in whatever case you got. Bait Striker Reel is their version of the Akuma Seymar bait feeders. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I use them. I got the CBF 500s and 1000s are what I use. Those are my bait feeders of choice. What's the easiest rod? My favorite reel is the Daiwa QZ 750. It has the folding handle. It is the best reel from panfish to walleye to pike. I don't care what you're doing for ice fishing. It's a 750 size. The Daiwa QZ 750. They're always sold out. They're not like crazy expensive, but they're also not cheap. I think they're like $59.99. What's the easiest rod to use or bend for jaw jacker targeting pike? Go fiberglass would be my recommendation to bend. Yeah, I mean, they make one of the ones that I've recently heard really good things about is actually from Clam. So let's go to Clam, ice fishing rods, because they make one. Is it the Predator? This rod is intended for exactly that purpose. Solid fiberglass blank, locking skeletal reel seat, comfortable EVA handle, oversized fly guides with insert, free tip top, perfect for pairing with the Predator tip up, available in 2 action. So this guy, $49.99. I've heard good things about it. I haven't actually used it. But this is intended to go into the Predator tip up, which is basically a jaw jacker that also doesn't need to be a jaw jacker. Like here, I'll show you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this guy. So this is how you load it, just like this. So very similar to a jaw jacker. I probably has that Predator rod on it. So that's one that I know of. I don't use jaw jackers, so I'm not like the best one to ask on that. But this is one that I've heard is really good from a few people that I know in Wisconsin that use them. Looking to get a light 10-inch auger for my clam plate. Looking at the Light Flight and the Pistol Bit 2.0. Any thoughts? Durability is a big one for me. I would go with the Pistol Bit 2.0. I bought the 8 and the 10-inch of the 2.0 last year. I've used the Light Flights. I've used metal augers. I've used the Alpha Plus 10-inch, right? I've used a bunch of them. And for what you're talking about to use with a clam plate and a drill, the Pistol Bit 2.0, 100%. It is probably the most expensive option that you have, but it is also the best. If we're to look at the Pistol Bit 2.0 10-inch, and if we were to compare it in price to $279.99 is what they're saying MSRP on their website is. But I know that it will be 20% off coming up soon here with all the sales that are going on. So if you can wait, what's 20%? That's over $50 you're going to save on it. So I would probably wait until you can get a show deal or a deal like that. 20% off. You should for sure be able to get this year. If you see it at 10% off and you're tired of waiting, do that as well. That's the one that I would go with. Otherwise, the Light Flight, let's see, how much would that be? Strike Master Light Flight 10-inch. MSRP on that puppy is, pulling up their website and we can take a peek for you. Hopefully make it a little easier on you. The laser light drill, I think, is which one it is. Yes, the LFLD10. Their website's got a weird price, $236.49. I have no clue why that's the price. So the light flight will be cheaper. It's still great. So, I mean, you can't go wrong either way, but my preference is the Pistol Bit 2.0, if you're asking. Blaine saying, like the Immaculate Tackle. Yeah. The big eye was easier for people. Yeah, 100%. QZ750 is awesome. Picked up 2 to replace some reels that hated the cold. Love the push button folding. 100%. Yeah, like, let me see. Daiwa QZ. Show you guys what I'm talking about. QZ750. Guys and gals. $69.99 MSRP. Don't pay that much for it. You shouldn't pay more than $59.99. But this is their guy. This is the one. It's got kind of the cork little handle on it here. You've got a really nice handle. You've got the push button folding action on it. The gold and black looks rich. 750 size, the perfect size for ice fishing. When a 500 is too small, 1,000 is too large, reach for it is the perfect for ice fishing. Light body, 6 ball bearings, aluminum spool. You can see it here. No, it's nothing too crazy fancy on it, but it works freaking awesome. So this is this guy. Let me see if I can find a place that's got them for sale right now. They're always hard to find. I know like Thorn Brothers typically has them. I'm trying to see if anybody's got a deal on them right now. I don't think Scheels like even sells them. I'll find some deals and get them posted up for you guys, but this is the reel that I'm talking about here. Jawjacker rods for jawjackers are my go-to. There you go. I didn't even know they made jawjacker rods. I was looking at some of the Eskimo clothing that came out. You go with the newer stuff or pick up last year's line and get the clearance deals. Dude, I'd go with last year's stuff unless you like love the design on it. Go with last year's clothes for sure. I'd go with last year's stuff. If you can get a better deal on it, go with last year's stuff. It's all great. Like my favorite hoodie to wear, one of my favorite hoodies to wear is actually an Eskimo hoodie that's 3 years old. I freaking love it. It's incredible. Was going to get the Eagle Eye 9. Did you like yours? I did. I really did like it. I think for the price point, it is one of the best bang for your buck options out there if you want to get into live imaging. I still have it. I'm not planning on getting rid of it, the Eagle Eye 9. Maybe I will, but I don't know why I would. I think it's a great little lightweight unit. I am working on building an ultra lightweight LiveScope setup with the LVS 34 and a 6-inch Garmin screen this year. That will be an interesting one to like do kind of. I can't really put them side-by-side comparison because it wouldn't be fair. Because one's like $1,000, right, for the Eagle Eye 9 versus a $2,500 setup. Last year's stretch is the way to go. Yep, totally. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for tuning into the FGTN show. Drop down in the comments what you're most excited about based off of this stream that you saw. What are you excited about? Let me know down in the comments. Tight lines. We'll have another video probably dropping out this Sunday is my plan as of now. and then we'll be live again next Tuesday. Always, if you got great ideas for videos or anything, let me know. And the best way you can help out the channel is by either becoming a member, which I always appreciate. But even if you don't want to do that, or you already are a member, watch another video. That's really what it is. It means more to watch another video on the channel to me than it does to subscribe, than it does to like, than it does to comment. Just watch another video. So we've got a lot of great things on the channel and a lot more to come. So thank you. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. Take it easy.